Hey everyone, I am your boss man, and this week on The Boss Man, we are going to talk about agendas and why The Legend of Zelda is whatever you want to make of it. Why it's your own personal experience. We're going to do this today by bringing up some things that a lot of our fans on social media tend to clash with, tend to have very, very strong opinions of, that are kind of phrased in a way that are extremely negative and oppress people that have the opposite opinion. And we've talked about this before a couple episodes back when we were talking about fan requirements and us trying to tell people what the Zelda series is and what you have to do to be a fan of it and why it's wrong to be a fan of it because, hey, you happen to like the Tingle games and you're wrong to like the Zelda series because you like the Tingle games or something like that. I'm here to address some other stuff going on our social media and some other stuff going on our website and why Zelda is yours. It's whatever you want to make of it. And this delves into a lot of different topics, so I'm going to try to keep this episode as short as I possibly can. I know I've been kind of drowning you guys out the last couple of weeks with some long topics, so let's just get right into the meat of it. Alright, so, for starters, mostly on Facebook, a little bit on our website, a little bit on Twitter. Every now and then we post some art about that displays a female Link. Gender bends. You know, for lack of a better term, gender bends Link, who's a male character, into being a female character. Because there are some people out there that actually want Link to be female. Or, more correctly, want Link to have a gender option. As Eiji Aonomu, or Eiji Aonomu, or I seriously, guys, you know how bad I am. I called Mr. Iwata last week, instead of Iwata. Yeah, I bet now you're used to my mispronunciations. But he said last year that the Link as a character is just an avatar for the player. Now, we know that Link has had more personality over the years. We had choices that we made that made him more of an avatar for us in Skyward Sword, but he still had a bit of a personality with his smirks and his smiles and his shrugs. The Wind Waker, he had a lot more personality. Other games, he's been a bit of a blank slate. I think Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, Link didn't really show a lot of outward emotion. A lot of the emotion we felt was what we felt, not necessarily what Link felt. So it really made that connection between us and the world. That's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm here to talk about agendas. And I mentioned female Link, and I bring this one up because this is the topic that's been trending lately on our social media and on our website, especially with a new game jam happening where the main requirement, you're making a Zelda-style game, but the main requirement is that the protagonist is Link and that this protagonist is female. And that's obviously led to even more outcry and more people saying that we at Zelda Informer have this agenda that we're trying to make Link female or trying to force gender options into the whole Zelda spectrum. And while I am not personally against gender options, I do think that Link is intended to be an avatar, whether or not they do a good job of conveying him as an avatar or conveying him as his own character. I think the intent is clearly that he's supposed to be an avatar. So I'm not against the whole female or male gender option. So I want to throw that out there. I'm not for or against. I don't care either way because I'm going to play Link as a guy. So as long as I can still play him as a man, I'm happy. And even if I was forced to play him as a female, as long as it works with the story, I could be okay with that too. I'm not super against either side here. However, what has happened is that people think that we're trying to force this opinion onto people. The game jam thing is happening. We didn't create it. We're just reporting on it. It's something happening in the Zelda fan base, and we are a Zelda fan site. So we cover a lot of different aspects of the Zelda fandom. So we will bring in stuff that's happening in that fandom and then report it out to you guys. We don't just report Zelda news. We'd be a pretty boring website if we just actually reported Zelda news, because that would mean we'd have maybe, outside of E3, we'd have maybe 10 posts a year, and that's it. And how boring is that? And plus, the Zelda fans do a lot of really creative things. Imagine that we didn't share with you that custom-painted Fierce Deity Link amiibo. Doesn't that look really cool? And that's something the fan base is doing. What if we didn't link you back in the day, The Legend of Neil? That was a fan-based thing. That was a parody. That was funny. That was great. What if we didn't tell you about that stuff? That's the stuff that kind of gets to me, is that we're not pushing any agendas onto you. We're just giving you what the fan base is giving us. The female Link thing with the game jam is something that's happening. It's actually happening. We aren't endorsing it. We aren't forcing it upon people. We're just reporting on it. And I think this gets confused with some of the art we share, especially on our Facebook page. There seems to be this general opinion among certain fans that we report on the Zelda female Link crossover art as a way to force that we want female Link to happen. That we have this agenda to create a female Link. And it's real odd to me considering that most of the art we post every single day depicts a male Link. Depicts Link as we know him today. So the female Link stuff is actually in the minority of the stuff we post. And if we had an agenda, wouldn't it be slowly creeping up to a 50% or a majority? It's pretty easy for us to turn it into an agenda. We could simply make that all we talk about until it happens. That's usually what an agenda is, where we try to force this upon you. And I hate that I'm bringing this up as an example in a Boss Man episode, because this is just going to be further proof that, hey, we have an agenda and we're trying to make it happen. At least that's the way it's going to be interpreted, and I apologize. That is not what I'm saying at all. I'm bringing this up because if we have any sort of agenda at Zelda Informer, it is to bring the most amount of Zelda fans together. And the problem with that goal of bringing all these Zelda fans in and making us one cohesive unit is that we all like different things about the series. Believe it or not, there are people that play the Legend of Zelda series who imagine Link is a girl the whole time. Now, that doesn't mean he's factually a girl, he's obviously a guy, but some people prefer that. Some people prefer to think that Link is dead in Majora's Mask. You know, I might have done a debunked series on that, but that doesn't stop people from thinking it. It doesn't stop them from providing evidence for it. There's been no official statements either way, no definitive stance from Nintendo, from anyone else, that Link is actually dead in Majora's Mask. So, people still want to believe it. People, they want to believe it for a lot of different reasons, that Link is dead stuff. Mostly because they feel it adds to the game's experience for them, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know I'm against it, but there's nothing wrong with people wanting to add to their experience, even if it's something that can't be 100% proven. And that's really where fan theories all come from, and this female Link stuff, and people that, maybe in the LGBT community that want to imagine that Link might be a female, that he might be gay. There's nothing wrong with those thought processes. That's how they want to view the character, and that's fine. That's great. That is on them. It helps them enjoy the series more. There's also us that like Link as the way that Nintendo specifically proves that he is. Like, Link is a boy. He's always been a boy. He might always be a boy in the future. He is who he is. We see him literally as nothing but what Nintendo gives us. He's more of a blank slate. He is a guy. He has a Triforce of Courage. He generally gets the Master Sword, not always, and he defeats a big evil. That's the way we see it, because that's what Zelda literally tells us without reading between the lines. And there's nothing wrong with that reading between the lines stuff, and there's nothing wrong with the fan interpretation. And this is a problem that we run into when we're banging our heads against the wall on trying to bring all these fans together, is we all view the series differently. We all like it for different reasons. We all imagine things about the series that helps us greater immerse ourselves in the lore or in the game we're playing. There's people that create all this fan fiction around the games, and they prefer to not necessarily believe in that fan fiction, but kind of prefer that fan fiction would be some sort of reality to them, because in doing so, it makes the games have that much more depth to that person. And there's nothing wrong with that. Me personally, and this is how I view the series, and I'm the editor-in-chief at Zelda Informer, so you can take this for what you will. It only represents my thoughts. I'm more of a literal person. I view the Zelda series for what they give us, what the games literally tell us. And that you could tell that in my debunked article for Link is Dead, is that I'm more of a literal guy than an interpretation guy. So I interpret the games, obviously, in my own ways, and they have some personal meaning for me. They have deeply impacted my life way beyond just working at websites. Link to me is just an avatar. I want him to personally be a character. My desire is for Link to become his own character, but I understand it that literally, right now, Link is an avatar, and I'm okay with that. I accept it. That is okay with me. Some people are going to still prefer to say that he's his own character, and that's fine, that's great. I have no problem with that. My only qualm personally is that I can't view him as his own character right now, because if he is his own character, then Nintendo has done a really, really, really bad job with character development for him. And based on what I've seen with other characters in the Zelda series, I don't think that I quantify Link as his own character in that kind of way, because I know that they can do character progression and they can do personalities in the Zelda series very, very, very well. So I have no problem with people that want to prefer that Link is a character. Just know that I personally don't view it that way, because not only just what Eiji Anomu said, but also because of the way the games have framed him, and the fact that I personally don't want to think he's a character, because that means I have to say that Nintendo's done a really bad job with character development. And that's just me. Some of you might think the character development is just great, and it's just fine that Link always wakes up after being late to something, and something happens and he's forced into an adventure. You guys like all that stuff, and that's fine. I think it's tradition, I think it's rich, and I think there's a great user experience there. But a lot of what happens in the game for me personally is what I am feeling while playing the game, not necessarily what Link is characterizing feeling. When we bring everyone together, is that everyone has their own opinions on what the Zelda series should be, what changes should occur, what things they like about the series, what they like the series to focus on. Some, believe it or not, don't want the series to focus on exploration and have absolutely no problem with linearity. And that's an opinion that exists, and they're not wrong to think that way. They can like the series for anything they want. Maybe they like it for the puzzles. There's some people that like the series just for the music alone. Imagine that. Somebody plays a Zelda game just to experience the music. They don't care about the gameplay or the story or the characters, but that music, it draws them in, and that's what they love about it. So there's a lot of different reasons to like Zelda, and that's why there's so much controversy and arguments among fans, because we can't just learn to accept that everyone has their own opinion. There are artists, there are fans that want Link to be female. I understand that viewpoint, and I understand that there's some gorgeous art out there that we're not going to ignore just because it gender bends, or just because it displays Link or any other character in the series in a way that's not canon, that's not part of the game. We've posted futuristic Links, we've posted Transformer Links, and we're not getting outrage over this. We get outrage over the female Link because it's a gender issue, and it shouldn't be an issue for us as Zelda Informer. It shouldn't be an issue for you as Zelda fans. It doesn't change what the games are for you right now. It's just someone's opinion and someone's interpretation. And, we have to start learning to accept that stuff. We don't have to accept opinions in that it sways what we believe, but we have to learn to let people have those opinions, because it's not wrong to have it. It's one of those things that we should be inclusive to everyone out there. And to do that, we have to kind of learn to get along. We have to learn to grow up, as it were. Some of us are still kids, and that's fine. I'm 28. I'm going to be 29 later this year. I have grown up well beyond the old bickering over someone has an opinion I disagree with, or this and that. I've been arguing with people on forums and chat rooms and social media outlets for years, and I feel like I'm kind of grown up beyond doing that kind of stuff anymore. So now I just see when it happens, it just bugs me, because that's not the kind of community we want at Zelda Informer. Zelda can be whatever the heck you want it to be, and that's okay. And I'm okay with that being, what you want it to be. We all love the series for all these different reasons and want different things out of it, and there's nothing wrong with that. As long as we appreciate the games we have, games we've already gotten, and the games that are coming in front of us, what we personally want for these games and what we like about these games all serves kind of the same goal, isn't it? We all just want the ideal Zelda game for us. And meanwhile, even if we never get female Link, do you think the people that want female Link aren't still going to be happy with the Zelda games they get? Of course they are. If you think the people that want a Zelda game in the future, you think they're not going to be happy with the Zelda games we still get, even though it might not happen in the future? Yeah, they'll probably still be happy. And that's what we have to all recognize, is that we're all Zelda fans. We all love Zelda for all these different reasons. And all these opinions and the clashing of them and people talking down about it is it creates a toxic environment that really nobody wants to be in. At the end of the day, we're all Zelda fans. So let's just enjoy the series, and if an opinion comes along that you don't like, or we post a piece of art you don't like, or there's a news post that you don't like, don't go after the people that do like it, okay? It's okay not to like it, but it's also okay to like it too. Zelda Informer, man. Trying to please everybody and doing a really bad job of it. So this past week, I've been hiring people at Zelda Informer. New news writers, new walkthrough people, trying to get a webcomic series going, which I hope you guys really look forward to. We also have some other stuff going on. I feel like I'm a bit overwhelmed. And not necessarily overwhelmed with the work at Zelda Informer and the hiring people. I love adding new people to our team. By the way, go ahead and apply for anything you can think to apply to. Nathan@zeldainformer.com. Great times to be had. We're a great community. Our video editor will probably pop something up there in a test about how awesome we are or how evil the boss mod is. You know, I love what I do, man. I love you guys. I love this website. I love the Zelda series. I would give Miyamoto and Eiji Aonuma, Mr. Iwata, a big kiss, man. Right on the lips. Thanking them for enriching my life with the Zelda series, man. It's meant so much to me, guys. Like, you guys mean a lot to me. And Zelda means a lot to me. And because of Zelda, I have you guys here, listening to me, watching this video. It's really emotional, you know? There's a lot of things that go on in my life. I got kids. I have a girlfriend, not married. We're engaged at one point, not now. I have another job that I do that I have to leave for right when I'm done with this recording. I have, a really crappy apartment I live in, and my life hasn't always been great. But Zelda's always been there for me, and for the last 7 years of my life, you guys at Zelda Informer, the fans, have been there, making me smile every day, making me get frustrated every day sometimes too. But I just thank you guys so much. Thank you, Nintendo. Thank you, Zelda Informer fans. Alright. Be sure to follow us on Tumblr, on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all that great stuff. Leave some feedback below. And by the way, we're doing a giveaway right now. If you would like a chance at winning a 1-month subscription from Arcade Block, this is for the United States only, a 1-month subscription for Arcade Block, leave a comment below on YouTube, not on ZeldaInformer.com, not on Facebook or Twitter or Google+, all those places that we're going to have this video at, on our YouTube video itself. Leave a comment below on what the Zelda series means to you, what makes it special, what kind of impact it's had on your life. Get in on that giveaway. We'll announce a winner on next week's Boss Man. Oh, hey. Go Badgers, man. Hopefully by the time you guys see this video, they have made it into the Final Four. Adios, guys.